Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, what I was just saying, it's funny because in the XJW open group, someone who I think is also in my group had posted about Biden, and people are like, this is an XJW group, we don't want to talk politics here. And I'm like, well, that's funny because in my group, I have one politics thread, there's two politics thread now, but it has to be contained into one post, and people complain. Yeah, over in this group, they can talk about anything, and then they complain when someone posts about politics there, and it's like, what? You can't actually win. People moan it's not allowed in my group on the wall, and then where it is allowed, people still moan it's allowed. Right, okay. So, hello everybody. Spencer's not with us yet because she's busy doing family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what look I'm going for today. And I still haven't replaced the ball that fell off on my septum. I just want to do something simple today.
I'm doing a blue look today. Sad because anywhere in the world, if you would use red.
I couldn't do my lips first. I'd probably smudge it.
It's funny because any other country other than the US, if you would use red as your party color, that would be an indicator that you're like a socialist party.
What, for my own red lipstick?
No, red in your in your political party's color.
Ah, because she was doing lipstick. I thought you were talking about lipstick then. Yeah, because like red here is like majorly Labour.
Yeah, that's like your socialist party over there. To my knowledge, that is.
Yeah. Come on.
Wow. I was thinking that I might be a snarky bitch, but I won't. Try not to be.
About what?
Well, not to be a bleeding heart liberal on the main, but I am genuinely happy that the election turned out the way it did. Hungarian political commentators already are like speculating as in like already saying that it's a good sign that Hungary will get rid of our current government in 2022.
Right, so like follow suit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really hoping that happens because our current government is, well,
corrupt. I mean, from burning books with gay people in it, that's just fucking. That's all at the top.
And also, just as I was leaving school, I think it was, or maybe the year after, but they changed the books, as in like they introduced new government sanctioned school books, and I read those books, and those books were fucking useless. Like, I was like, damn, this is how you want kids to learn.
Right.
So I hope they're about to lose their job, just like Donald Trump did.
I mean, it's ridiculous because gay people are part of society. Society is part of kids' life. So they need to learn about that kind of stuff. It's just like, unless you just want a bunch of closed-minded, judgmental nation of people.
That's what they want. You hit the nail on the head. Just like that. That's exactly what they want, really.
And to want kids to grow up like that, that's just ridiculous.
Well, it's in the same vein as the America is a Christian nation. It's not. America's constitution literally says separate church and state. But interestingly enough, when people like say Lucian, Lucian Greaves, who is the founder of the Satanic Church, calls for the separation of church and state. He's attacked for it and stuff. I'm just like, well, what you expect him to do? Sit idly by while you're stripping other people of their humanity and rights? Get out of here.
And like, bringing up kids that are not going to understand other people is just asking for trouble, because kids are going to be prejudiced and pick on other kids and bully other kids because it's not been explained to them.
Exactly, that too, but also the fact that the Satanic Temple, and despite of their name, they are actually just a secular organization of human beings.
And unlike many Christian groups, they don't allow paedophiles in their midst. So that says something, that the satanic organisations kick out paedophiles and Christian organisations harbour them. That tells you a lot.
And basically, they organized school events where kids could do homework, puzzles, sing songs, stuff like that with Lucian and others. And it's in the Hail Satan documentary. Some of the footage they recorded that day. And it's like this Christian woman bursts in the door, right? And she's screaming at the top of her lungs that, America is a Christian nation and all that. And she starts cursing.
Right.
Like,
at the kids?
No, at the adults, but the kids were sitting next to the adults.
But the kids were there?
Yeah. The kids were there, and the woman is just cursing like, fuck you, you motherfuckers, this is not in our fucking school district and all that. And Lucian, I think it was, I don't remember exactly, so if anyone has seen or wants to watch the Hail Satan documentary, first of all, highly recommend it. It's a fun watch and a very inspiring watch too, especially if you're like a liberal person who gives a shit about other human beings. So anyway, and then Lucian is like escorting the woman out, being like, hey, mind your language in front of the children, please. If you want to continue this conversation, we can go outside where the children cannot hear you scream profanities at other people. So the woman's still screaming as she's being escorted out, obviously. And it's just like, and you are supposed to be like the tolerant ones or whatever. Or we're supposed to tolerate you. Well, look, man, if you don't tolerate others, I won't tolerate you. That's something that, people need to acknowledge, because if you tolerate everything, you will end up losing tolerance in general. There must be limits to what we as a society tolerate, because if we don't, have limits, then anything can be said under the guise of free speech, and I end up killing people, and then actually lead to worse things happening. So yeah, on bigotry and Nazism and all that, we need to have a limit, that we don't allow that stuff to happen,
Yeah.
because otherwise the intolerant will kill the tolerance.
But if you went into her church screaming and swearing, they'd still have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's okay for her to come and do it. Yeah,
But it wasn't even like a satanic church, it was a school. A random school, they held an event. Even in the event description it said puzzles, singing songs, doing homework.
It makes it even worse that she did it in the school. Wow.
Like, just because it has the word Satan in it, people are losing their mind. But Lucian Greaves, in my opinion, an excellent activist. Like, he gets shit done. is something. And I attended like a TST event a few weeks back, and just to hear him speak, he was like so chill and confident in anything that he had to say, but also you could feel that it's a serious thing that we're talking about. You know, we talked about the elections and all that, and he said something I really liked. It's that if you don't vote, which is fine, you know, anyone can live with their right to vote or not, but if you don't vote, whatever happens or doesn't happen, you're responsible for it, because it's our duty to secure the rights of our fellow human beings. We were given this right, and we have to use it to ensure that others have that right respected as well. And if you don't vote, then you have no right to be upset whatever happens in your country, because
that's why I don't complain, because you know I don't vote. But I think looking at the effect that it's had on the US, I think next time our elections are up, if there was somebody that I thought had worthy policies and could actually, you know, change things, I'm not going to vote for the lesser evil, because that's, to me, that's still voting evil in. If there's somebody that I thought was worth it, then I would probably consider it.
There's no perfection, and politicians are no except for that. Like, they are gonna fuck up, they are humans, you won't find a perfect politician. It's not.
Oh, I know, but some intentionally mislead, and that's what I mean. The ones that promise the world and then.
But all of them do. That's why you don't just pay attention in the election cycle, you pay attention all through. And you select according to that. Like, you pay attention in the 4 years. What are they doing? What do they do for the community? Not when the election cycle is up, because obviously then they are going to promise the world, like you said. But
that's why I couldn't do it either with good conscience, because I don't pay attention to politics. So I don't feel like I can make a good enough judgment if I don't know exactly what those people stand for, because I haven't followed them.
It's a tedious job, but I think it's a duty. Like, I feel like it's a duty. I feel like, especially when you're a minority group, like a woman, a queer person, or disabled, which in Hungary, my genetic disorder counts as disabled, so I don't know how it will go over like there, but here it does count as a disability. So for me, it's extremely important to vote. And
yeah, I totally get why it is for you, but like, I think because we don't feel that in the UK, so I think it's kind of like I think if I was in the position in the US and where you are, then I would look more into voting because it's like more of a serious issue. Where in this country, you know, a lot of people stand up for gay rights, and you know what I mean. Like my town, some lad was held at knife point in our castle grounds because he was gay and called loads of names, and everybody gave the attacker shit for it. So like they were on the gay lad side. So I think I don't feel under pressure that we would have our rights taken away from us here in the UK. But I understand why you feel that you
You're always
could.
under pressure. You know, another thing that I like about TST is that they acknowledge that just because you, for example, in the UK, have a relative security of human rights, it won't always stay that way, because human rights are a constant struggle, and it's a constant work to uphold them and make sure that they are respected and honored like they should be.
Well,
And
yeah, if it changed in this country, then I'd change my views as well regarding voting. Because I would feel it's something that I would need to protect if I had to.
this is just super easy for, you know, maybe it's because I'm like a history geek, and I actually wrote my dissertation about how Hitler gained power in Germany, that I'm like super sensitive about politics, and I follow politics obsessively because he didn't start with the Jewish question. He was just like, hey, you guys, you want more money? I can do that for you. And then once, that promise was there, he started blaming the Jews. He started enacting these laws. So I feel like we always need to watch out and
It's
vote,
also, sorry,
because you never fucking know when the next Hitler comes along. And like I said yesterday, when I heard some of Donald Trump's speeches, I immediately got flashbacks to reading Mein Kampf. It's no joke.
See, also here in the UK, they don't make it easy to vote if you have anxiety, because I couldn't go and stand in a queue in a school for hours to cast a vote. If it had always been like you can do it online and stuff, I think they would get more people taking part.
When I first legally could vote, which was in 2018, that was the first election after I turned 18 that I could vote in. I walked 2 hours to my polling station. 1.5 to 2 hours. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't measure it. But I remember I walked a long way to get to the polling station. And I know I'm going to have to walk an even longer way because now I moved into a rental. But my permanent address is still my previous address. So I'm going to have to walk back to the original polling station. And I live farther now than I did then. And I will do it in 2022. I hope that some of these Hungarian, political commentators who are saying that this might be a prerequisite for Hungary changing course in 2022, I hope they are fucking right, because it's not okay. What's going on in this country is not okay.
No.
So I hope they are about to lose their jobs. They should lose their jobs. And so-called politicians like Trump, they should go to jail. Yeah, there's no other way.
I haven't looked into that yet. Why do people want him to go to jail? What has he done to bang him up?
He cheated taxes, and he actually colluded with Russia on the 2016 election, which is illegal, obviously.
So can they bang him up anyway? Why wait until he's not president anymore? You're not allowed to ask the president.
He suppressed the information, he suppressed major information on the Russia case, and he has a Senate majority, he had a Republican Senate majority, so they weren't about to push the case forward. But I'm hoping that Biden will pick up the Mueller report again, and an actual decent human being will look at this stuff. Because honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Biden is like a dream candidate. Thank you. So I'm definitely not a person who is super stoked about Biden. I am stoked about human decency approaching the White House again, definitely. But all in all, I just think that Biden has his issues, obviously. I would have voted for Biden in this case, yeah. But my best pick would be either Andrew Yang or Bernie Sanders, because they were closest to my actual ideals. But at the same time, like I said, as a political commentator, I follow Pudit, Biden will be more easily bullied, so-called bullied, into enacting changes. And maybe, just maybe, if Biden does well, then there will be no overturn in the White House, and we can have an even better president next time around. So I think people misunderstand what voting is. It's not an eternal marriage that you cannot break. It's, it's like public transport. The bus doesn't take you exactly where you want to be, and you need to, endure bumps and smells on the bus. We all know how public transport is, at least in Hungary. It's not the most pleasant experience, public transport. But
Biden can just be like a stepping stone.
Yeah, it's just that much closer to where you want to be. So I feel like for the US to be bettered in this way, it will be at least the next 8 years. So in the 2024 elections, whoever runs on the left side of the spectrum, they will need to put on a fucking spectacular campaign run.
I can't get my wings level, man.
And I feel like the fact that I have seen all the queer content creators that I follow say stuff like, I had my first decent bowel movement in 4 years today, is something that should indicate that maybe, just maybe, do not vote with your wallet. Do not vote for money. Vote for people. And I can't believe that shit needs to be said. Like, do not vote for money, vote for people. Money won't save you. But yeah, I think America especially has a big issue with like science denialism. So it doesn't even shock me that hateful rhetoric like what Trump spewed would sway them.
I can't believe, well, I suppose I can, like, how childish he's been over the entire thing now. It's like, so you lost, like, deal with it. You had 4 years to do something, and if people want him out, that's on him. That's because of what he's done. So,
But he did something. He reassured white supremacists that it's okay to be white supremacist. That's what he did.
God, hooded eyes and wings are the worst nightmare ever. I have to do a crazy show. Oh, I can't get them level. I'm just going to do it.
I barely ever get my eyes level. I don't think they are level right now.
That shape I have to do.
Oh god.
Just because, like, my skin sags there, so to make it look like a wing, when I fill it in there, it comes there. But then if I fill that gap in, it will disappear as a wing, and then I'll have to keep going more and more. It's crazy. I hate hooded eyes.
What the hell is my brush?
Spencer, there's a lot of static. I don't know whether the fan in my tablet causes that. Oh my god, I've got so much fallout as well. No.
People are saying that it's a cheated election. Man, if I cheated this bad on tests, I would fucking fail.
I don't understand, like, as well. Why was he telling people to stop counting when he was losing?
Because he didn't want to lose by a landslide, which he didn't. So I don't understand. Like, a cheated election would look very straightforward. Like, it wouldn't be this close. Like, it was thousands of votes close. You know how tight that is? That's very tight.
But then weren't people, some people were saying something about that people had sent in mail votes from dead people.
But I didn't go down that rabbit hole, but I think it's unsubstantiated.
They said so many thousand votes have been cast aside because they were from dead people.
Dead people?
Hey, Spence.
Hey, what's going on?
I mean, I heard the theory, but I didn't go down the rabbit hole.
What y'all talking about?
People were saying that votes have been cast aside because the mail votes, a lot of them, thousands apparently, were from dead people.
Yeah, that's pretty impossible here in the United States because every vote ballot is attached to like a barcode and it's connected to the Secretary of State. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's like that you wouldn't receive a ballot for a dead person because the address rolls or the mail-in rolls. They never update them. But you couldn't take a ballot and go into a voting center and you actually vote with a dead person. It's too many checks and balances to
But they're
actually.
saying the mail-in ones were. But then wouldn't they have to
That's what
died
I'm saying.
recently?
Well, also on the mail-in ballots, they go by a 10-year history of your signatures. You have to actually sign your ballot. And that's also connected to our DMV or our Secretary of State.
Right.
So, so if you can get somebody's ballot, not knowing who they are, and guess at what their signature looked like over the past 10 years, I guess it's possible. But I mean, that's very highly unlikely.
You'd probably have to be a close family member to do that kind of.
And what Trump is alleging is widespread fraud. That's kind of impossible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's very, very highly unlikely because everybody within the United States run their own elections by county, not just by state, but like individual counties run their own elections. That means that everybody in thousands of election centers all over the United States would have to be in on this conspiracy to overturn the election, and not only what they say destroy ballots, lose ballots, but even what Donald Trump is going to court about, it wouldn't affect the outcome of the election. They're arguing about 50 votes here, 100 votes here, 1,000 votes here, and even though it was a close election, it wasn't that close. So anyway, I woke up feeling better this morning. Yes,
I bet.
It was a historic night for me to be able to look on the stage and see a woman that looks exactly like me. It was nice to know that not only is she the first Black and Asian American vice president, but she is the first Black vice president in that position. So it's a win.
See, I never knew all that.
Yeah, so it's a win for a lot of minorities. And I have to say, I wasn't really excited about their candidacy at first because I voted for Bernie. I'm more progressive, I guess. But my vote was a vote against Trump.
Yeah,
like I said, I strongly believe that Biden will be more easily, I don't know any other word, but bullied into enacting more progressive.
I don't see Joe as being a person that would be bullied. I've watched his career my entire life. Joe has been that's one thing about Donald Trump. I think he couldn't really nail down who Biden was because Biden has had such a public life for so long. And he's done a lot of things of course, that a lot of people haven't agreed with, but our nation has progressed towards, like some people were saying, okay, well, he said this about Black people about 100 and something years ago, and you think to yourself, like a lot of people around that time were saying stuff about Black people. You want to look at people's record now. I think what redeemed Joe's political career for me, since this is his third time actually being a runner for president, was the fact that he helped launch Obama into the presidency. So I got to know him a little bit more, and a lot of people got to know him a little bit more. And he's just a really kind and gracious man. I think he's going to carry the White House with dignity and grace. But yeah, his policies, I don't really like the fact that he's really so moderate. It annoys me. I wish his agenda was a little bit more ambitious than it is. But I mean, as far as liking a person, I like him. I like Kamala, but I still would I have chosen them necessarily to, no, I voted for Bernie. So.
I have the same information. Like my top pick would have been Yang or Bernie. Definitely not Biden and Harris, but
let me ask you a question though, Emma or Molly. I mean, how does U.S. politics affect you guys? Because before this election, I started getting involved in politics. I tell you, I would be online and I would see people arguing over U.S. politics, and my first thing would be like, okay, why are you arguing about something that don't really? I mean, why that you in the about a country you don't live in? Now I understand that geopolitics that we're all connected and we're all in the
Spence, hold
world.
on a sec. Sorry to interrupt. Check the comments. What is this fucking dude on about? Sodomite. So where is the sodomite here? On screen or off? Hopefully these two women don't have a sodomite and not enablers. Okay, here's the sodomite right on time. Oh, so he's calling you sodomite?
Well, a sodomite is usually a homosexual slur.
So does anyone know who this Jason Graves
And
is?
he's talking all this shit with a big old cross in his picture.
Well, look good if you
it's nothing like it's nothing like Christian love. It's like that's
Christian hate.
Right.
How you like that, bitch?
The YouTube troll.
Now I feel inclined to sit here until this stream ends.
Hey, Jason, go get a life. Go sodomize yourself. Go sodomize yourself with a cactus.
Your president lost his job. What about that?
Well, you know what I never understand? Why men troll our makeup lives. It's been happening since we've been doing it.
It's so fucking sad. We're not threatened by you. We don't find you offensive. We just find you fucking stupid. You're wasting your own time.
I feel like I've seen him before.
Probably. He's probably got like 10 different accounts like trolls do.
Right. The biggest haters be on the notification gang, for real.
He's probably a friend of our friend Steven.
Well, you've been blocked, boo.
Kissy kissy boo. No one's gonna miss you. And no one's gonna miss your president either. I was trying to be gracious.
I wasn't.
Fuck Donald Trump. And if you support Trump, fuck you too.
There's so many Facebook groups, including makeup groups this week, that have been posting. The admin have been saying, if you support Trump, get the fuck out of my group.
Right on.
Actually, I was surprised that some of my friends voted for Donald Trump. Not like friends, they were Christian friends, like evangelicals, but I still was surprised. So, and they were black. I mean, so that was, that's in this area, that's just unheard of. This person had COVID. This person, but still feel like Trump is chosen, God's chosen person. It's crazy.
Hi, Linda. So, Spence, what was your question? Sorry, because I got distracted by that twat.
Oh, I was going to ask you, like, with the UK, like, Paris, they've been showing, like, all over the world, people's reaction, like, world leaders and stuff like that. Paris did, like, fireworks last night. So I'm just wondering, like, how do the UK, like, generally react to U.S. Presidential races? Or, like, do they follow them?
Well, I have, like I said to Molly earlier, because obviously you're my friend in the US and I care about you. So this year I've watched what's been happening, and I'm glad for all my friends in the US that wanted this result got it. But I don't think we really celebrate much here. We'll comment on it, but it wouldn't result in a party or anything here for the US. I don't think. I've not heard of anything. Unless something kicked off in London or something. I don't know.
Now, is Boris your prime minister?
Yeah.
Okay, they call him over here, the baby Trump over here.
Yeah.
They call him lots of things over here.
Hi, Apostate Bay, Linda James. I see you in the comments going off on that Jason, whatever his name was. Thanks for having our back, boo.
Thank
I don't
you.
know why they come on a live with a bunch of women talking shit. You ain't here for makeup. Move along.
Maybe they're missing church on a Sunday afternoon, so they need to find something else to do.
All right. So let's troll the
Hey,
women.
let's act like Christians somewhere else, shall we? Let's go and troll on YouTube.
No,
That's what Jesus would have done, I'm sure.
I mean, here in Hungary, I know that Trump being elected made a lot of things worse. Like, just publicly. Like, even if not policy-wise, I don't think our policy changed much. Like, that was way before Trump got elected, that there was this joke by a stand-up comedian said, like, we got some like tax reductions on our gas bills, and this stand-up comedian said, I appreciate the tax reduction and all that, but I can't help but wonder, how many times did Orban, our prime minister, have to suck Putin off to get it? And yeah, like, you might think that like Hungary's little right-wing person would be a mini Trump, but in all honesty, I think in this case it might have been the other way around, because this guy that we have has been like in politics since the 90s. And initially, I remember being attracted to that party when I was like very young and stupid. And now I'm just like, okay, fuck y'all and anyone who votes for y'all. Y'all are like on some fascist bullshit. So concede, my dudes, concede. And basically, I have never been.
Let me just say this. I don't know if you can hear me. But
Yeah.
that man is never gonna concede. I would rather him just go ahead and be the jerk he been this entire time. Go ahead on the way out the door while we looking for you for moving boxes and all that kind of stuff. He gotta have to leave eventually. So I heard I posted something today and somebody said, Trump ain't gonna never leave or blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking like, I mean, one thing about our government, we have systems in place. Can you hear me? One thing about our government, I don't know what happened there. We have systems in place where our government goes on, whether it's bigger than one person. You know what I'm saying? The Secret Service is already giving him the protection, and the government is already transitioning Joe Biden. Trump is he looking dumb, he looking childish, he looking like a sore loser, and he too old for this. This man is 70 years old.
But what was that meme? There was a meme, something like, if you tried to get a child out of, was it Chuck E. Cheese at closing time? It was something like that, and that just made me laugh, because, he was going to go kicking and screaming, isn't he?
Oh no, that's right. You know what it feels like. You, like everybody else been feeling. You done had corona. You about to get evicted out your house, and you done lost your job, dude. Goodbye.
Bye. You about to lose your job.
Now you about to lose your job. And then the thing about it, you're going to court to fight over 100 ballots or 1,000 ballots here. It's not gonna make a difference. You just, unless this is one big, because he's an entertainer. This is one big show on the way out, so that he can launch his career after he leaves the presidency to say, "Oh, it was stolen from me." Do you know people here in Michigan right now? Because I told you my Michigan is like super polarized after this presidency. These fools out here protesting now, talking about stop the steal, stop the steal. I'm like, ain't nobody stole nothing from y'all. Nobody stole nothing from y'all.
I've seen pictures of them all outside, like taking a knee and sitting and praying. I'm just like, oh my God, this is just like.
You right, Elaine. It's so funny. I don't know how true. Of course, it's a lot of fake news out there. But the business insider is actually reporting that she's actually divorcing him after she leaves. Now, how true that is, everybody knows she don't like that man. We don't like that man.
Who would?
She don't like that man. There's
she
a video circulating. She always slapping his hand away when he trying to grab her or his hand or.
Like she genuinely looks like disgusted.
She does. And this fool came and gave everybody in the world corona. Well, anybody in his orbit. His wife had corona. Barron had corona. Everybody that worked with him had corona. He just don't care. Anyway, don't get me started talking on the orange man. Here's the thing. I used to be I've been voting for him. This is my first presidential election. But when he won, I was a Trump supporter. I really was. I was counting on him to bring us together and do. Now, did I agree with everything with his agenda? At first I thought he was funny until it started getting serious. I'm like, whoa. Some of the stuff ain't funny. Like, it didn't bother me that he tweeted. Like, when he tweeted, like, it really didn't. It got crazy at the end. Like, to the point that I would have to unfollow him because he be up like 3 a.m. tweeting and ranting and raving. I just like, no, dude, I gotta unfollow you because, you know, I know you got stress in your life and you got court cases and all that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of Pookie around the corner got court cases and all that kind of stuff. But he ain't tweeting at 3 a.m. ranting and raving. I mean, this man can't keep his personal business off Twitter. I'm like, I can't do that. So I did unfollow him for that. But yeah, I was a Trump supporter at first. And then when the tiki torches came out and the Jews can't replace us and people started getting a little, racist, I was like, no. I jumped him after the tiki torch when he said it was good people on both sides. You know, when the Nazis came up, were marching with the tiki torches and stuff. So I was like, oh, yeah, I see. I've done this down the dance before. So.
All of those tiki torches, motherfuckers. You know what you can do with your tiki torches? Light them up and shove them up your ass. Right deep where the sun don't shine.
Did you see what I posted the other day? These women, and it was a guy too, praying outside of the convention center that they stopped counting ballots with the MAGA hats on.
Yeah.
I was like, people are losing their mind. You know what? Here's the thing. You've been living in an alternate reality with alternate facts for 4 years, and they just really can't. They are salty to the mug about losing this election. Like, they can't believe it.
What you gonna do? Like, even if Trump won, you got 4 more years of your little Nazi utopia, and then what you gonna do? And also, I just yeah. Like, what then? Trump will have to leave. At worst in 4 years, even if he was elected now, which he wasn't. So
and my whole thing is, what are you accomplishing about court? We don't want you, dude. Stop acting like a jilted boyfriend and like you said, you like, I'm not gonna leave. You gonna leave. You gotta leave the people's house. You gotta get out. I don't know where you're going. Go on back to Mar-a-Lago where you came from. You just not gonna leave. We didn't vote. The majority didn't vote for you. So you're gonna want the courts to appoint you king? Because that's what it is. Then it's no longer a democracy. I mean, what we did, all the vote never mattered because he can just go to court and be president. What?
And for the people who say like Biden is a socialist,
he could not be further from the truth. This man is so far right. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean Biden. I'm talking Biden, not Trump.
No, I mean Biden. Biden is not. I would say in this era of politics, if this would have been like the 80s or 90s, Biden would be considered a Republican. But in this environment, you know, he's definitely not. He's liberal, but he's definitely not left. He's more moderate than anything.
He's not a socialist, my dudes. You know who's a socialist? I am. I am a socialist. And Biden, he's not one. I can tell you that much. He's not one. He's not a socialist. Raising the taxes on the obscenely rich is not socialism. That's just fucking justice. And for anyone to ask, especially me and other like queer people, to be tolerant right now. Hell no, you know what? Biden and Harris might be classy about this, but I kind of won't. Like, if a Trump supporter tries to pick shit with me, no. Like, I'm sorry, my dude, no. You motherfuckers spent the last 4 years gaslighting, manipulating, and fucking over people like me, who are queer, who are women, who are mentally ill, who are disabled, and people of color. I won't be tolerant with you any longer. No one needs to, and no one should.
Yep.
And if you think that,
I'm sorry, I got this on the screen because I want to know too. How you doing, Emma?
yeah.
It's weird because like some days like today I feel less achy and I think, oh great, this is where the change is going to happen, and then tomorrow I'll feel like shit again. So I don't know, like a lot of it is I've still got like numb feet, but it's less intense than what it was. So yeah, but someone says to me to have another blood test done to see if I am actually absorbing the vitamin D. But looking at my test results, because I went and got my blood test results there, I've had kidney stuff before, like my creatine iron levels have been off, but they've never given me anything for that. And then this one shows kidney and liver stuff is off, but they never do anything until it's like really low. Like my vitamin D, I think it should be 30 as a deficiency, and I was only 19. So between 15 and 30 is a deficiency. So I was like right really low. So I don't know.
Well, Emma, we hope that you feel better, honey. So,
Thank you.
Are you against some type of resolution, like some type of like a diagnosis, not other than just deficiency, or that's just what it is?
No, I want to find out obviously what's causing the deficiency. But when I looked up the liver and kidney parts, I didn't know the vitamin D is actually a hormone. It's not a vitamin. So it plays a big part in your kidneys and your liver. So I think if it's problems with that might have caused the deficiency, because like vitamin D processes all the calcium and that in your body. So that's why like it affects your bones and your muscles if your body's not absorbing it. So I've learned a lot about it.
That's good, Emma.
But
that's one thing.
I'm shocked that vitamin D can fuck up your body this bad. Like,
well, it's weird because they say here where I live at that Michiganders have a natural vitamin D deficiency because we don't have a lot of sun here.
Right.
Yeah, it's called the British disease in Hungary.
How is it?
Yeah, it's called like having British bones because, Britain doesn't get a lot of sunshine, and it was highly associated with like British folks in like the Middle Ages to have like frail bones and pale skin because of vitamin D deficiency. So it's called the British disease in Hungarian.
Well, I don't get out much anyway because of my anxiety, but sometimes I try and get out for a walk in the summer. I take my camera, go down the river, and just take pictures of like flowers, birds, and stuff like that. So it would get me out for a few walks. But with lockdown and everything, I haven't done that this year. So I think maybe that's made like a big difference to my vitamin D.
Could be. Definitely could be.
I don't know. But I do want to find out what the cause is. But I can't believe like they took my blood test in September. They told me I had a vitamin D deficiency. And when I had to ring them up about my little finger that's gone all weird, I said, what was the results? Because they sent off a sample to see if it's fungus. And she was just casually looking at my profile. She went, oh, yeah, you had a virus. And I was like, what? Hold on a minute. She was like, yeah, you had a virus. I went, when? She says, your blood test September showed you was fighting a virus because your white blood cell count was up. And I was like, you never told me that. And she was like, oh, well, it was only mild. That's why we didn't tell you.
But these nurses are a trip.
I want to know now, can they tell me what it was? Because it isn't coronavirus.
Yeah. And
so if in September they know I was fighting off a virus, why didn't they ring me and say, go get tested for corona?
That's mind-boggling because you would think in this environment with corona, that would be the first thing they say.
Right.
You don't just casually say, "Oh yeah, you had a virus" to somebody
Yeah.
in a pandemic.
Right.
Exactly.
I have had this fucking sore throat and dry cough for over like 2.5 weeks now, and my doctor is like, "Yeah, you can go back to work on Monday because you don't have a fever." I'm like, well, you don't consider my fever a fever because my body temperature is 34 degrees instead of the usual 36.5, 37. So my fever starts at your normal body temperature measures. So by my account, I might have been feverish all through these 2 weeks, but I just don't know, and I can't report it to you because if you ask how much, then either I lie and I say it was like 38 degrees, or I don't lie and say 36 degrees, but then I can't explain to you that my base body temperature is 34 degrees and not 36.
And how are you supposed to talk all day on the phone if your throat's bad? Like, how is that common sense to a doctor? Yes, you might not have what he considers a fever, but your job is to talk all day on the phone. You have a bad throat. Your voice is a lot better than what it has been now, but you can still tell it's bad. So how are you supposed to do that?
I'm still hurting. Like,
you can still hear it in your voice.
I don't know how I will get back to work or whatever. But...
Hi, John.
Hi everyone. And then, like, 2
hey,
weeks
John. What's going on?
I will have this conversation again.
Well, Molly, I hope you feel better too, honey.
Yeah.
Everybody going through something, huh? Like,
I feel like I'm falling apart. Like, I'll just take me to the scrapyard or the vets and have me put down.
Oh, that's like me. I have this starting today. I am going vigorously trying to lose weight because the weight that I have on me, I'm bigger than I have ever been in my life, and that includes being pregnant. And I'm carrying this weight around. It is just dragging me down. I can't. And then I'm a little vain too, so I'm like, I want to be cute. So anyway, everybody, we are going to leave in about a minute and counting down. We are going to be live again in an hour for our, I don't know if you can see it. Like, oh, not that one. Sorry, I'm a little rusty. We have been off for a week, so.
It feels like forever when we don't miss a week.
We had a self-care break. Is this? Oh, there we go. Our Cults versus Cults Part 3. It's a live virtual Q&A with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, Amish, and Mormons. We also have an excommunicated Mormon bishop.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be exciting. If you watched our Part 2, then you know that it's just like a continuation, almost like a virtual roundtable. So you don't want to miss that. That's an hour from now. If you are just joining us, you might realize that we're a little bit earlier on the East Coast than we normally go live. So we're playing around with the time zones because we've all experienced a time zone change with daylight savings. So let us know, the people that follow my page or follow me. Let me know if this is too early. It's with virtual schooling and everything. And all the crap I have to do at this hour might work for me though. I don't know if people gonna be watching this early, but it worked for me. So anyway, I guess we go ahead and sign off so we can go in and sound check with all of our guests. And let me get this off the screen if I can do it. Like I said, I told y'all I'm rusty, y'all. It's gonna be there we go, interesting show. And I've removed the background. Anyway, see you guys later.
Molly, your eyes are banging, by the way. Great
Oh
wing.
yeah, it is.
We never do close-ups at the end, so I'm just gonna.
Oh, here we go. That's pretty, Emma.
Thank you. I was just trying to be simple, girl. That's fun, Molly.
Look at Molly.
Just so everyone can see my shirt. Landed in the streets, skydived in the streets, motherfuckers.
All right. Molly with the boob shot. All right, y'all. I guess we can go ahead and sign off and go into our time. We will talk to you later.
Bye.